this course that we're going to build today, it was supplied by Kelly Langston, who's here with us. And Kelly, would you just say a little bit about the purpose of the course and how you got it started and everything?
Sure. So thanks for having me. It's a leadership coaching, group coaching workshop. I predominantly work with executives, leadership coaching, and I wanted a way for leaders to experience group coaching and kind of just go deep with a group, being able to talk, work through different areas. So they work on their values, they work on what kind of leader they want to be. Every leader is a good manager, but not every manager is a good leader. So really working with leaders in developing who they are and how to use their strengths, and then the responsibility they have to their organizations, their relationships, and society. So that's where it got started.
Awesome. And what I really loved about Kelly's course as an opportunity for this workshop is that it is a group workshop, and it's a group coaching workshop, and it's day-based. So the last one that we built was step-based and was very individual. So we have an opportunity to look at some different aspects of building a course by using Kelly's course. So I'm going to do this a little bit like a baking show, where now I'm going to show you the thing that I'm just pulling fresh out of the oven, like, ta-da, it's amazing. And then we'll show how to build that and, mixing things and whatever. So I have Kelly's course here, and it is called just Leadership Workshop. And here's what it looks like. I'm going to actually preview the page display. So this is how it will look when the client's actually working their way through the content. So getting to the leader in me, the first week we explore the leader in each of us. You'll take a DISC assessment to determine your individual style. Learning more about ourselves, spend time reading, reflecting, get to know the leader, and just a little preamble here of what's happening in week one. Blog post. This is a post from Kelly's blog. So if I access this, it opens a new tab. I'm going to read this post. This is her husband's photography, by the way. How beautiful is this? And so back to the thing, I've accessed this, and I have a survey. And just to give you a little hint of what this is for, Kelly's measuring these things at the beginning of the workshop and then again at the end of the workshop. Why that's awesome is because then she gets to use that for further marketing. Hey, in working with me, people become, 2.5 times more aware of their natural personality tendencies, or, however she wants to phrase that as we go through this. So how aware of your natural personality tendencies? I want more information. How confident are you? I know what you're talking about. Which activities bring you energy and which activities drain you? Pretty aware of that one. And how often do you lead according to your values? I try, so then we would go through and just, this is a baseline of where we're at. Oops, a little scrolling thing here. Okay. And then what do you hope to get out of the workshop? Great. Complete that. And once I complete that, I now have a new action assignment. Check your email and take everything DISC. And Kelly put a note in here. So check your email. You've already been sent your link with a personal code. So that's done outside of Coach Accountable. She's got, that relationship with the Everything DISC program where she has to do a personalized link. She buys the thing for them and then sends them that login stuff. And here's when it's due. Check your email and take that test. Okay, great. I did that. And once I complete that, now I need to read my individual profile, which was sent to me after I completed everything DISC. Okay, so again, this is outside Coach Accountable. I'm reading my email that was sent to me by that DISC system. And now I have a new thing, schedule my executive coaching session. So there is a link that brings me to the scheduler, and done that. Cool. I have a couple other things that I have to do. I have to sync my calendar with the system so that the group coaching sessions show up for me automatically in my case, Google Calendar. Cool. I did that. And then after that, I get the following Thursday. So Kelly's workshop is on Fridays. It's going to be every Friday for a month. I get a note. Hey, are you ready for our call tomorrow at noon Eastern? And we talked about the stuff that would be in the menu on the left. So here's our course section. And here's all the stuff that was part of that section. So now I've done that. And then a week later, right after the workshop, I get the second one. And this one's called Discovering Values and Purpose. Got some stuff. Great story about Southwest Airlines, which I passed on the Coach Accountable team. Very cool. A video from Steve Jobs. Take some time to think about these questions. Watch the video. Cool. Watched it. I now have a new worksheet to do. Got some stuff. I would fill this out, words that resonate with me. At this point, I'm going to skip validation. And now I'm going to receive part 2. So these are labeled, and it's up to you how you want to label these, whether you want to say part 1 of 2 and 2 of 2, or just part 1, part 2, whether you want to add that stuff in the preamble or what. And again, we have this worksheet. We'll skip validation here. Move on to, I now received a personal whiteboard. And it's what I'm supposed to do is take some of the work that I did in the worksheet above and add them into my whiteboard. I also have an action that tells me to add to the whiteboard. Now, why do I have an action and a whiteboard? Because I can then have reminders. So it's one of the things that Kelly has built into this course is every week, part of the assignment is to add to your own whiteboard and add to this group discussion whiteboard. And we'll talk a little about the privacy there. And this is the first time she's kind of getting them to do that. So, hey, you have reminders, you have a due date to add to your whiteboard. Check off that you did it. Same thing with the group whiteboard. Here's the group whiteboard. You have a new action assignment once you've done your personal one. Add to your group whiteboard. Great, and that's here. And they'll be able to see each other's stuff inside there as well. Then again, I get on Thursday, hey, don't forget our group thing. And again, I have all this. And then a week later after our session, I get the next one. I'm going to access this file. Great. And check off that I did it. I'm going to get a worksheet called Seeds, Weeds, and Needs. Seeds, Needs, and Weeds, 1 of 4. Then we've got, after I complete this, and this is my work for the whole week. So I know I'm going fast through it. So I'm on week 3 of this work so far. So number 2 of 4, and you see how these things, as they're slowly getting surfaced to me, that they then show in the directory basically over here. Got this, skip this one, and we will get, what do you think? 4 of 4. And again, as a client, this is an easy thing for me to know, what's happening. I know that I'm getting 4 of these. This one's done. And then again, on Thursday, I get, hey, we have a thing on Friday. I also, now that I've completed all my worksheets, I need to add to my personal whiteboard and I need to add to the group whiteboard. And I get, hey, what are you supposed to add to the whiteboard? 1 strength, include how you will use this strength to better your relationships, your organization, the world. Be sure to spend time reading your fellow leaders' contributions. And then again, the following week, I get a new section, one great leader at a time, a little preamble. I've got a quiz. I've got developing my leadership vision. Again, add to my personal whiteboard, a list of activities that recharge me. And I've got add to the group whiteboard, greatest opportunities to change the world. What does that mean? Here's the share on the greatest opportunity you see to change the world. Be sure to spend time reading your fellow leaders' contributions, again, to sort of heighten the group feeling of it. Because again, we're meeting every week, but we're also now seeing each other's greatest opportunities, that kind of thing. And then we've got, I'll expand that. And then we've got the final thing. Congratulations, you did it. Here's some additional opportunities to continue your journey with me. Sign up here. What do you think this is? It's an offering collection. These would be Kelly's offerings. So she has individual session, individual 60 minutes, 6 sessions, 60 minutes, 30 minutes, 60 minutes. So I can book any number of these things as a great tool to continue on after I finish this workshop. Then one last request. Please fill out your feedback form. And guess what? These are the exact same questions we had at the beginning. And we have a few other questions on this one. And that's it. That's the whole course. So we are now going to build this course from scratch. not entirely from scratch because all the worksheets and things are in there. So, again, having that stuff done ahead of time makes a huge difference. So I am starting a new course, and it is called Leadership Workshop. And it's actually 29 days long based on the actual start dates. So this, again, it doesn't matter if I say my time zone or my participants' time zone because I'm putting a group in it. So it's always going to be my time zone anyway. Here, I want them to see as far as they've progressed, and I do want course pages. That's where we worked through. So we have a totally blank thing, and let me grab the actual start date here because I have that noted. Let's see. Start date is September 24th. So this is the cutoff date for Kelly's group program. If it's September 24th or later, you can no longer sign up because everyone's already started the materials, basically. So I'm going to do a lot of copying and pasting from Kelly's content here. So first thing that happens is they are getting a new course section called Getting to Know the Leader in Me. And we can make the buttons say whatever we want whenever they finish that section, if they're available. So this is revealed at 9 a.m. and they will get a notification. And Kelly wrote this really great text, and here's what it says. Your client first name, welcome to the workshop, congratulations. What's it for? What's going to happen? Every week you'll receive new content. This is super smart. Schedule time now in your calendar to complete the work each week. Are you ready? Let's get started. The purpose, Kelly gets started. Please log in. Please log in. And we have the login link there. And you can also add this message to their stream. Now, people ask a lot, what's the difference? Why would you want to add something to the stream or not? My advice on this is always, is this something you want them to refer back to later? Is there any real content in it that you want them to see again? If so, add it to the stream. If not, choose not to. So if this just says, hi, Morgan, you have a new course section, I don't need to see that again, right? Like I get it. I already clicked it once and that's it. But all of this is really important. What's the point of this? Why am I doing this thing? Especially when I'm feeling challenged, having this in my stream and recorded and, there for my viewing is important. I can also do enable formatting. If I wanted to do like headings, if I want to do different font colors, bullet lists, any of that normal stuff, that enable formatting is right there as well. So we'll save that. And then they will also receive some course page content about the same thing. And it's basically that little preamble. What are we doing this week? I'll just paste that in there. And so these both go out at 9 a.m. on day one. Also at 9 a.m. on day one, they're going to get a file. And the file is, again, choosing from my library blog post. What is group coaching? Kind of a nice thing to give people. They don't need a notification of any of this other stuff. And when should that be shared? Do they don't need a notification? Great. And then they also get at the same time. So basically, Kelly's doing it as like one big reveal. 9 a.m., boom, here's a ton of stuff. And then there's some other stuff to work throughout the week. So they're also going to get their baseline check-in worksheet, which is called, and look how Kelly arranged this. We've got it arranged into different folders. So week one has its own folder. Week two has its own folder. And I can see part one, part two. These are alphabetical. So having the 1 of 4, 2 of 4, 3 of 4, 4 of 4 is easy for me to know what to put where. Week 4, here's what's happening. Week 5, here's what's happening. So having these in a folder called Leadership Workshop, subfolders called week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is super helpful. So we're in week 1, we're having this survey go out, again, keeping it linked to the worksheet template. She wants this one done 5 days later, max at 5 p.m. is fine. We will add reminders, and you can also do text reminders if you have your number in the cell field here. So let me do that really quick, actually. It's in my account. And I'll save that. And now if I go back to my course, I will be able to change some things. I can make these text reminders. Now, remember that we're doing this for a group. So I do want to set some privacy settings. I will turn this on, show group course settings. So this little thing just popped up in group courses, visible, including aggregate and individual performance. That means they can see each other's answers to this worksheet. These people don't know each other. They've never met. We haven't even had our first call yet. So that's probably a little too much. Like, how aware are you of your natural personal tendencies? I wouldn't feel comfortable being honest about some of this stuff. So we were going to change that. So edit. And we have this thing down here, client visibility in groups. And that occurred once I ticked this box. So in this one, Kelly and I discussed this, and actually she thinks it might be kind of nice for them to know some of these things. Visible, including aggregate performance, means we know if it's done or not done, but we can't see the answers. So that might be nice, but this also might be nice for this very first one, which is, again, before we've ever met. This is the one we're choosing for this. So this means it shows up in the group. They can see that everyone got it, but that's it. They know that it's a group assignment. They don't think it's just for them. And that's what that first one is. Hidden as a group item means I think I'm the only one who got this potentially. So this one is what we want for this particular one. Again, no notification because they're getting already an email at 9 a.m. So also at 9 a.m., they get their first action. Here's where I'm going to collapse all items because this stuff is starting to take up a lot of my screen. So first action of the day is check your email and take everything disk. And again, this is a thing that Kelly would have emailed them ahead of time before they start the course. And that's another reason for the cutoff date. She has to arrange all of these, specific login links from the everything disk portal and get them all that stuff. So we have a message for this one. And you have a new action assignment. Check your email. You've already been sent this. Use the link and code to access your assessment. Plan 60 minutes to take the assessment, and be sure to take the assessment alone and without distractions. It's due, and we're going to make this one due 6 days later. So the day before our next workshop. And then again, you can add as many email or text reminders. And this one we do want to save in the stream because, again, it has some instructions that they may need to refer back to. Okay, so once they complete this action called check your email and take the disk, they will receive the next one. So this will be a following item, add new action to follow the completion of this action. So again, I have my little arrow. The next one is called, and I'm just going to copy paste this one. It's a little bit long. Read your individual profile. It was sent to you after you completed everything disk. And again, I'm going to do a notification. This one I will not add to the stream because all it's saying is that. And here, because I forgot to mention this on this one, because there's not like an answer that they would see, like I'm not going to see anything written about their stuff. Kelly was like, yeah, let's let them get a little bit of like friendly competition of like, let's see who's done this thing already. We can see whether they've done it and all of that stuff. And then same thing here, read your individual profile. Let's let them see who's done it and who hasn't done it yet. Like, and start to get that, again, friendly competition kind of going. Once they read the profile, they then need to schedule their coaching session. So again, we'll do this and it follows completion of this action. And it is schedule your executive coaching session. So again, we'll see, whether they've done that or not. It's not a huge deal, right? If they haven't, and it's not like heavy or anything. And I will notify them of that. And I'm going to do something kind of cool and write, let's see, it's due on date due. Please schedule your one-on-one executive coaching session. And we have this thing called schedule link, where this will log them right into the system and pull up the window that has them start choosing a time and date with you. So kind of cool. And I'm going to use scheduling. So to add one of these tags, you just put your cursor in there and then click on the tag. And now I'm going to do something even cooler, which is make the link say something more fun than just like a long link. Double colon. So now the text will be, please schedule your one-on-one executive coaching session using this link, where using this link is the link, so that the word itself is clickable as a link. And so I'm going to then remove this and actually say, after you schedule it, mark this action done, so that they know that you schedule and then you mark the action done. There's two separate things to do here. And again, we can do enable formatting if we want to. I can preview it so that I'll see that the text is working properly with the link and all of that stuff, and save. I'm going to stop there because I just did a lot of stuff. I'm sure there's a lot of questions going on in the chat that John, I'm sure, handling beautifully. But is there anything that that we should address now, because we've already done a lot?
No real hot topics that are kind of fomenting with the group in the chat. I feel like everyone's tracking pretty darn well. So, anyone want to speak up that I have perhaps missed, or you want to sort of bring to the discussion?
All right,
I have
either
a
I'm
quick
doing
question.
Go ahead.
I was actually typing it. With regards to that scheduling link that you were just discussing, what if you have different, I guess, time frames, like 15-minute, an hour, and for this session, it's specifically the 1 hour link? How would that specify which link it is, or do they get, how does that work?
So this particular link, Christina, would be to whatever you've given them access to schedule through the system. So if I were you, I would just write, please choose a 1 hour session. And in general, people kind of figure it out. And if they don't, you can just be like, hey, I saw you scheduled 15 minutes instead of an hour. Do you have time after that? Can we make that a full hour kind of thing? You could, if you wanted to be really, really like on top of it, you could send them a link to an offering instead. But this is really, this is for people who are already working with you at this point. I would just tell them, hey, just choose this one, and kind of limit the number of options they have in the first place. And that'll do it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, Morgan.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Morgan, one quick question. If you are doing a kind of a full court press to get people signed up and integrated into a new program like this, new course, do you have to use your regular schedule that you've put into Coach Accountable, or can you create a special availability for, maybe a 15-20 day push to really get this kind of filled in, all these sessions? You might be doing maybe 20 or 30 executive sessions in a very short period of time, and next month you don't want your schedule to reflect that availability.
Yeah, so that, Mark, you would actually do over here in settings, appointment config, typical availability. You can add alternate availability just for that few weeks, applies from, let's say, today through the 15th. And I will give myself a bigger day or more, like a longer period of working hours than I normally have. And then after the 15th, I'm going to need a nap and, go back to my regularly scheduled life.
That is so good. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, sure thing. Anything else?
Morgan?
Yep.
Jacques, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Okay, so I have several programs. So the way to do this then would be to enter each program into the library. So distinguish them as several programs. And then as I don't necessarily have to have them all complete. Like I could plot like 2-3 weeks in advance and just continue to build. It's not like I have to have all the answers immediately, correct?
Yeah, Jacques, that's a great point that I didn't mention at all, which I should have. And that is, if you're building a day-based course, you really only need to build a couple weeks in advance. Just stay ahead of where the students or your clients are, and you're good. Again, not the same day, but at least a week or so ahead, and you'll be able to lay it out like train tracks. I do not recommend that for a step-based course because you never can predict how fast people are going to go through it. So there are some people who are hungry and they rock through the whole course, and you expected them to take 3 weeks and they took a day and a half over. They stayed up all night and did it over the weekend, right? So step-based courses, you don't want to mess with that. You want them to be as done as possible before you put people into it. But day-based, absolutely, just a week or two ahead of time is great.
And this auto saves like as you're building?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And Morgan, just to help Jack, I did that last year with our program. And then this year I was able to basically copy the course. I made a couple of edits and so forth, but I was, 30, 45 days ahead last year, and it worked.
Awesome. Thank you, Mark.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. All right, so I will go back to our course, the leadership workshop here, and again, collapse everything. Oh, this is the one that this is the pre-built one. All right, here's the still baking cake. Okay, so I only have, and notice how I have in my timeline now, I have a thing happening on day one. So as you start to add things on the navigation area here, you'll see them pop up as like, oh, things are happening. One other thing that's happening on day one that Kelly told me she really wanted, which I think is very smart, is a message to herself that's happening on day one. So again, you can send an email to the course participant or to yourself. Kelly wants to get notified. Hey, I actually don't want to do this one, not here. So once they've marked that they took the thing, that's when she wants to get notified. Hey, they took the disc and I need to go read it. So as another dependent item, another following item on this action, I'm going to add a message. Now, again, this is where it gets a little complicated. If I drag it here or here or here or whatever, add it onto this particular action. And we see that it lines up with this other action. So these two things are happening at the same time. And then when they finish this, they receive that. There's one more thing. So an email to herself, and it's going to be read client first name results. And it's just very simple. Client first name has completed the everything disc assessment. Go read their results. And again, it's just to herself. Hey, so-and-so completed. So these will roll in as people do that. And she also probably has notifications going to herself when clients complete actions and worksheets and things like that. But this one is a very important one for her to make sure that she goes through that, especially before they have their coaching session with her. She wants to make sure that she gets an extra push. Hey, Kelly, go read this. Save. So that's everything that happens for week one. And then we kind of have a lull. Things are due. So we see some things that are due. Again, we see the reminders and the due dates. It's not too many things, right? And then on Thursday is the next thing that's going to happen. And it's just a message to remind them. Now, we can have automated reminders that go out with each appointment type. However, the reason we're using the course for this is because Kelly has individualized messages she wants to go out before every single one of her meetings. So here's the message. It's going to go out on Thursday, which is the day before the thing. It's going to go to the participant, and it's going to be called, Are You Ready? It's super simple in the content. And hey, client first name, don't forget to join our group coaching call, and I'm going to enable formatting on Friday at 12 noon Eastern. And here's the specific assignment for this specific meeting. Have your everything disc profile out and ready to reference. I look forward to getting to know you. Stuck anywhere, reply to this email. I'll be happy to unstick you. And then we've added that to the first one because everyone's new to the portal. Everyone's, maybe kind of trying to catch up on like, what am I supposed to do? Where am I? I lost my login. We're like, whatever. So that Kelly is here ready to respond and get them in. And, that's really it. And actually, I want to add this one to the stream because, again, it reminds them, have your profile ready. So that's it. Then Friday, they have their meeting. It's from 12 to 1. And then at 1 exactly, she has everything coming out for the next week, which is kind of cool. So it's like, as she's saying goodbye to them, hey, goodbye, nice to meet you all. Glad to see you. This is going to be an amazing workshop. I'm super excited. By the way, you just got all the stuff for the next week. You're off to the races. See you later. Let me know if you need anything. So at exactly 1 o'clock, we have the next course section beginning, and it's called Discovering Values and Purpose for Leadership. And again, we're having it come out with a message. And we're going to get rid of this. Hi, leaders. It was great seeing you. Welcome to week 2. See it, please log in, and we'll add that to the stream. Great, great, great. And did I say, oh, I left that at 9 a.m. Whoops. We're going to do 1 p.m. Again, it's going to happen exactly at the thing. And course page content also happens at 1 p.m. Coach Accountable knew that I wanted it to go at the same time as the other thing. Oops, not a course section. Page content. And paste. Here's the story about Southwest. And we also have this. And I then have a watch this video. And let me, all I have to do here is I'm in the course page, click the video icon. I'm going to add embeddable video audio, YouTube, Vimeo, Wistia, SoundCloud, all these places. I actually just have a YouTube link. Preview, cool. It's the Steve Jobs video. And I can put a caption here if I want, embed that. It's now in the course page content. And then as they're watching the video or afterwards, I would like them to think about these 2 questions. Also, at the same time, they're going to receive a new action called watch the video above. Now, why is there an action in addition to the video being on the page? Again, it's so that it's extra backed up as far as like, I really want to make sure they watched it. I don't want it to be just a casual watch. I want to make sure they watched it and then they check off that they did it. And if they just kind of quickly accessed everything right after our call and then they really needed a break because like, oh my gosh, I've just been with these people for an hour and I'm all pumped up and I just need to walk away from the computer. They forgot to watch the video or they watched 10 seconds of it. Okay, I'll come back and watch the Steve Jobs thing later. I want to make sure they get reminders to come back in and finish it. So this thing's going to be due 6 days later, even though they probably will do it way faster. Again, we want this to be due like next Thursday. So, and then here we can see it's an action. It's very simple. Who watched the video, who didn't watch the video. This is not too personal. So, and then, you know, we give some reminders and they don't need a notification of this one. And then they're going to get another worksheet. Again, at the exact same time. So you can see how this is kind of a nice dump of certain things, and then they work through additional content later. So the next one's going to be from week 2, part 1, and keep it linked to the template, the one in the library. Here's where we start to say like, okay, we don't need them to still see each other's answers to this. You know, you're magically free, given an hour to do what you wish. Money's not a factor. What would you do? With whom would you do it? Maybe I'm a little embarrassed that like, I would want to go do something that other people think is really weird. And I'm not ready to share that with these people I just met an hour ago. We'll just see who's done the worksheet. We won't see their answers. And they don't need a notification of that. And then after they finish this, shocker, they get part 2. And again, we will do that so that as the privacy level. And you can choose to have a notification of this one. Hey, you have a new worksheet. And then once they complete that worksheet, they get their very first whiteboard for the course. As soon as they finish this, it is called personal whiteboard. So they're getting 2 whiteboards. One that's personal and one that's group related. And here's what they're going to grab the stuff from this worksheet and add it into this. Add your final 5 core values and the clarifying statements. This one, again, as a group, separate copies for each group member. So each person's going to get their own personal whiteboard. And they will get an action item after they finish the worksheet. So same time as the whiteboard goes out, there's going to be an action called add to personal whiteboard. And here we will let them see whether they've added to that or not. It's not a huge deal. They won't see what they added. And then once they do that, they will get another one called Add to Group Whiteboard. For that, they're not really going to add to it. So again, here, this one will let them see what they've done. You have a new action, great. And I'm also going to add the group whiteboard coming out kind of early. And so I'm going to have that come out at 1 p.m. with everything else, but they're not going to add to it until they kind of work their way up to it. Now, if they start adding to it, that's okay. Once they work their way through this stuff, they'll be like, oh, I didn't add exactly the thing that I wanted to add. Let me go back and edit it. So it's kind of something that they can sort of see dangling, like, okay, here's the thing. It's got a group whiteboard. I'm going to add the group whiteboard, and notice that I'm not dragging it here. I'm dragging it here. And this one is called group discussion. And I've got a little bit of description of what they're meant to be doing. Add at least one core value with its clarifying statement to the group whiteboard. Feel free to include your name if you're comfortable, or remain anonymous. And here we have this as a single shared group item. This is important. Let the client edit this. We did that for the other one as well. Otherwise, they're getting a whiteboard they can't work on, which is fine. Sometimes you want that in your course. Hey, here's a suggested reading list. I'm going to update it. Or here's some additional resources for you. I will update it. This one is you update it as we go. After every week that we meet together, you will have some things to say after you work through our content. You'll want to track this in your own whiteboard. And we'll save that. So that is it for week 2. I am noticing that we are getting very close on time, and I want to make sure that we have time for questions. So I'm actually not, we're going to take a little detour. I'm actually not going to finish the whole course. I've already built it for Kelly, and so we did work our way through it. So I do want to point out a couple other things before we take a break here. So we are going to have a new resource, which is a video that walks you through how to build a very a course that we actually already have in here, and that is. I didn't install it. So let me show you where to install that first, and then you will have a resource on how to build that. We'll send that out as well. So if you go to resource packages here, it's in the wellness coaching one, and it's called Daily Practices. So I'll install that. Basically what this course is every day it sends out a daily practices checklist. It asks a bunch of different questions, and each one of these pipes its answers into a metric. So how many minutes of exercise? Did you or did you not contact someone important? It's binary, yes or no. How many minutes did you spend on self-care? Did you do your daily journal? And then this worksheet goes out every single day for 90 days, and the answers go into those metrics for 90 days. This is a very common course setup. Hopefully you can imagine a different type of daily or weekly practice checklist for yourself. You know, if you're a business coach, maybe minutes of exercise turns into minutes spent working on your business, or, like hours spent working period, or, hours spent not working, because a lot of us are missing the work-life balance thing, which is huge for life. So hopefully you can imagine these becoming something different. So that will be a resource that we have for you. And by the way, if you didn't notice, there's a lot of stuff in the resource packages that you might not already have in your account. And then I also want to mention, when it comes to, Kelly generously sharing her course with us, obviously everything that she has in here is, belongs to her. And so we request that you respect that, intellectual property and copyright and all of that stuff as we saw her stuff being built. Yes, thank you all for being here. And I will now conclude this recorded part of the courses workshop.